Hey guys, how's it going? It's Target here. Welcome back to another episode of the Buffalo Sabres Be a GM. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button down below, leave a comment as we go, and don't forget to subscribe if you like it at the end. Always great stuff coming at you. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at TargetOdd18. If you don't know how to spell that at all, it's in the bottom left corner of your screen. All right, guys, that's where I love to communicate with you. So when I left you off, I was asking you what we should do at the trade deadline. We had a couple different options, and I showed you guys what was on the trade block in terms of defensemen because I felt like that was where we need to make the biggest upgrade. And the two biggest players were Mark Giordano and Trevor Daley in Dallas. Now, here's the thing that I looked at, and I took into consideration. Number one, the majority of people chose Giordano over Daley. So right away, I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to be going after Trevor Daley. Okay, we only had a couple suggestions from people saying to take Trevor Daley. The majority of people said Mark Giordano. Now, there were two, actually three other options that came up with some serious support from the community. All right, so we'll take a look at the Calgary one in Giordano. All right, so the deal here was Mark Giordano in exchange for our first round pick in 2017, as well as, where is he here? Cody Franzen. So that was the deal. So an 85 overall Cody Franzen and a first round pick in exchange for Mark Giordano, who is how old? Probably 32 years old. So he's pretty old already. Okay, so that's the option there. Now, the other ones that came up, and number one, probably the most supported one of all, was starting to unite the Stahl brothers. So go to New York and trade for Mark Stahl. 87 overall, 29 years old, the same cap hit as our buddy Cody Franzen, but his defensive category is fantastic. So a lot of people suggested getting Mark Stahl. Here's the thing. They don't want to get rid of Mark Stahl. And, to make matters worse, they don't want our first round pick. All right? Now, that just may be a computer glitch. But let's see. Do they want Cody Franzen? Yeah, they'll take Cody Franzen. But it's clear here what they're looking for are proven NHL talents. Guys that are ready to compete now. Not first round picks and promises. Now, why is that? That could just be a glitch in the system, like I said. But let's take a look at the standings. Let's see where the New York Rangers sit. There you go. Boom. The New York Rangers sit first in the entire NHL. No wonder they don't want to trade any of those guys away because they're making a huge playoff push right now. And not only are they first in the NHL, but they're first by 5 points over the Minnesota Wild. So there is a nice gap there. And if you look at the East, they pretty much got that thing locked down. The next closest team has 14 points fewer than the Rangers. So right now, New York's in a great spot, and they don't want to move anybody. So I don't think, and I'm sorry to say it, although it was very popular, that's the right deal for us, okay? Now, the third option that people suggested, there's 4 of them total, is in Tampa Bay. I'll show you this one. Tampa Bay. Who do they want to get rid of? Boom. Let's go by trade value. Anthony DeAngelo, a 72 overall offensive defenseman, 5'11", 171, but his shooting categories are already really good. His physical category, very, very, very poor. His defense, subpar. Everything else is pretty much lower. But he is 72 overall, so he has a ways to go. He's 4 yellow stars, so he could amount to something. Now, they want to get rid of him, so that's a nice big deal there. But are they going to want to pick? Absolutely not. Why? Because they are proving, or they're not proving, pardon me, they are wanting to trade young talent, not picks, young talent for proven NHL talent. You see here Ristolainen, Molson, Myers, Zadorov even, Zuccarello, guys that are a little bit further along. All right, so I'm not going to trade Zuccarello because he is literally, Zadorov, because he's literally on the verge of making the NHL, and he's one of those commodities that don't come by very often, which is a big defensive defenseman. 6'5", 229. He's huge, and he's only 20 years old. So at the same age, he'd actually be a trade down by 7 overall. That's crazy. Other options would be like Ennis, guys that are going to help us push for the playoff now. Jake McCabe, 22 years old, 79 overall, 3.5 green stars, provides that two-way defenseman. So while Anthony DeAngelo is a nice option, he would only be a nice option if the price was a first-round pick. They don't want that, so I don't think that that's a realistic throw out there. I mean, in terms of value, yeah, it would probably go through. But I think that we can get better talents and save our resources instead of going after Anthony DeAngelo. Now, I appreciate your guys' suggestions, of course. I always do. But I think that in this case, because it's not a green for red or red for green or however you want to word it, I think that right now what we're dealing with is holding on to that first round pick in 2017 and waiting for next year just because of what's available to us now. Now, the other option, the fourth option, was to keep things the way they are. All right, so let's take a quick look here at the lineup. We'll go to coaching options, and I'll just show you the lineup. Let's see how many players we actually have playing out of their position. Or not playing out of their position, but playing, you know, a little bit above their potential, I guess you could say. Matt Moulson, he's not a first-line winger. There's no doubt about it. But Eric Stahl and Martin St. Louis, definitely first-line players. And playing with Matt Moulson, I think that they can get the job done. On the second line, Zuccarello and Ennis, those guys are definitely second-line players. Larson, he is a third-line player. Now, if we take a look at our third line, Marcus Foligno, he's a third-line player. So's Gergensons and Grigorenko. But on our fourth line, we've got two third-line players. So guys that are actually playing below their potential, Lokchanov and Dalpe. So maybe we could swing something with Lokchanov and Dalpe and Larson. Those three guys maybe get back a second-line player and two fourth-line players. That's a potential option for us too. But right now, I think that making those kinds of changes isn't something you necessarily want to do when you've got young guys that are still about to, you know, absolutely explode onto the scene. So, and you look at our defense too. I mean, we've got 4 top 4s and 2 top 6s. So it's not too bad. Yeah, would I like to see an improvement? I mean, Myers is maxed out at this point, is he not? Not quite, but he will be right away. 86 is where he's going to finish off anyway. So I think that right now where we're at is where we're going to stay, because if you look at the Giordano trade, which is the one that everybody kind of suggested besides the Mark Stahl trade, I'll show you here, coaching or GM options. My question is, adding, like, if you go to Calgary, how old is he? 32? Calgary, Giordano's 32, and we look at Cody Franzen, all right? Cody Franzen is 28, so we're talking 4 years and 2 overall. All right, now Cody Franzen's not going to get to 87 overall. He's going to be done at 85, maybe get to an 86. Even if he gets to an 86, is Cody Franzen and what that first-round pick possibly could be, is that worth Mark Giordano? I don't think so. I think we're best to go with what we have now. We added a piece in Eric Stahl. I think that'll be our big push for this year. And then next year, we'll make a look at seeing what that pick can do for us once we have a better understanding of where our team sits. So I think we're going to keep it like this for now. What I am going to do is go to the trading block, and we are going to adjust that a little bit. Trading block. We'll go to best what they suggest. All right, so they're saying that we think that we should have a fourth-line player, a goalie, and a goalie. I'm going to say right now I'm going to clear the goalies. We do not need goalies right now. We have young talent. I don't want a goalie. A fourth-line forward, no. I'm going to actually edit this. So we ask for a second-line scoring forward. Or, sorry, second-line forward. That's all they have is scoring. I will go with any age. It doesn't really matter to me as long as they're that. Also, I would like to add a first-line forward. And any age is fine with that. I would like to add a top 2 D-man. That's what I'd like to add as well. So we'll see what comes up with that. Now, in terms of what we're willing to get rid of, that's wants. Oh, sorry, hold on. Surplus. Yeah, current first, future first. That's fine. I'm also willing to get rid of any forwards that have a third line scoring role. All right, and then they're young. We'll say up to 26 years old. That way, that gives you the Larsons of the world. And I suppose I would be willing to also give up a defenseman, because we got a couple top 4 defensemen. There you go, in that age range, okay? So that's kind of our surplus and wants. Players on the block, the 2017 first. Not Martin St. Louis. I think he's going to retire as a Buffalo Sabre. I don't know that there's anybody else here, so I'm just going to clear him off and just leave those 2 picks on there just to see what they might come back with, okay? Just to see, because they're going to get some kind of an idea of what we're willing to get rid of with Cody Franzen. So let's get in the trade deadline here. Let's see if we get anything. If we don't, I'm not going to be too terribly broken up about it. All right, here's one right here. They want David Legwand, a second, for Lokchanov and Mazzaros in a second. I don't think so. I don't think I want to get rid of defense for no. Absolutely not. That's okay. I mean, it's good to see the offers coming, but that's not the offer we want. Let's go into the trade deadline. I bet you there will be a couple offers. Arizona's the first one right off the hop. They want Mikhail Grigorenko for Shane Doan and a second. Now, normally, if Mikhail wasn't such a good young player, I'd make that trade. And the problem here is Shane Doan is actually 39 years old. And I'm not looking for a guy that's as ancient as he is. I mean, we don't need anybody that old right now. We would need younger players. And who knows? Maybe there's somebody that's going to go through waivers that we might be able to pick up. Who knows? And we're also looking to free agency, too. We should have a look. All right, so 2 calls, one from Vancouver and one from Calgary. Radim Verbata, a second-line forward. Now, they want the second and the third this year for Radim Verbata, and that would put Johan Larsson down a line. 34 years old, a good shot. He's got 40 points this year. He's not a bad option, but I think right now, I mean, that's pretty good, actually. How many picks do I have? I got to look at this. If I'm getting rid of the second and third, yeah, those I'm not willing to get rid of the second and third from this year. I would have to take the second off and replace it with the third next year. I would do that deal. If I take this second off and I replace it with this third, that would be a deal I'd be willing to make. Our 2016 third and 2017 third for Radim Verbata, it's not going to go through. I seriously doubt that. But that's a pretty good deal. And Verbata, how many years does he have left on his contract? 1 year left. I mean, and then he'd be trade bait at that point. You know what? I don't need a rental player. I think Larsson's doing well enough. I'm just going to close that one off. It was a decent offer. It was pretty close, but I still think the changes that we made probably would not have forced that through. Yuri Hudler, again, they see that they're recognizing that we actually have a need for, well, I don't need a playmaker. I would prefer a scorer. He's got a pretty good shot. He's put up 14 goals this year. No, that's okay. Not at the expense of getting rid of Andre Mazzaros, who actually might be a solid player for us in the future. It looks like Anaheim picked up Trevor Daley. All right, we got Toronto calling now. Lokchanov for a second. No, that's okay. Lokchanov is a proven player. He could actually play on the third line. I would trade him for somebody else. I'd trade him when I know more, I think. And this is the final offer of the trade deadline. A second and a third for Jerome McGinley, who is 86 overall, 38 years old. No, I felt like that the deal for what's his name was much better. Radim Verbata was much better just due to age. Because, I mean, that value is quite, yeah. No, that's okay. I'm going to erase all that. That's all right. No big deal. So we'll shut it down. I didn't see anything that was really worth it. That's okay. Hopefully with what we've got here, we can actually make the playoffs now. I mean, we're close. Matt Barkowski, who got traded, he actually got waived. No, that's okay. That's the only person who got waived. And I don't know why making no trades causes your phone to drop and your rep to drop. That's so stupid. Like, just because you don't see a deal that works for you, why should you be punished? Personally, it's just ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. All right. We got lose to Edmonton right off the bat, and that was in regulation. That was a big loss, too. 6-5. Lots of goals scored in either direction, but unfortunately, we were unable to come out ahead of that one. And we got to start stringing the wins together here. I mean, this gap between wins and losses is going to close quickly, and you know, it's not like we're fighting from behind here. We are ahead, so we need to maintain that gap of 7 up right now. If you count the losses in overtime, we're actually dead even at this point now, 6 up. And Zuccarello has not scored. Zuccarello has not scored on that second line in a little bit here, not since we started the sim for the month. So maybe he can get something going here. I mean, he's got a pretty good lineup. He's got a pretty good lineup with Ennis and Larson. I mean, the problem... Wow, we've lost a couple in a row. I'm going to stop that sim right now. Stop, because this is not going to go well. Yeah, another loss. It seems like sometimes, I don't know, everybody says no, it doesn't do anything any different. But I think in my mind, if I try to change it up a little bit, it's going to make a big difference. It may not in action. There you go. I think that we just sealed our fate, guys. I felt like adding Eric Stahl was a great option for us. But now, we're not getting that same kind of production with him in the lineup. Holy shit, it's just gone to shit. And we have no pick anymore. We have no pick anymore. That pisses me off. All right, we might have to do something with the lineups. Hold on, we're going to go by projection. A couple top 10s in the OHL, or in the WHL, the OHL, the Q. A couple top 10s there. I guess we could go look at that. Let's take a look at defense. I can't remember. There's one in the Q. Sean Day, everybody says is fantastic prospect. Let's take a look at the Q. We don't know much about him, and there's not too many other prospects, so we should get a better understanding. Let's go to coaching options, let's take a standings really quick. I need to know, how far off are we at this point? Oh, we're about 6 points out of a playoff spot. Actually, yeah, we're about 6 points out. So, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games left. Ooh, these are going to be crucial. And 6 points out, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be tough. So let me go to coaching options. We're going to go at the lines. I'm going to see if I can change something up. I'm actually going to move Molson down and Larson up. All right, let's see if that maybe sparks that lineup there. Larson is a right-handed shooter, I believe. Oh, he's a lefty. He's a lefty. All right. We'll give Larson that lineup, and Molson will give you the ability, because we know that San Luis producing. Actually, Molson's doing pretty good too, 64 points. He's done really well, but maybe he'll actually help the trigger Zuccarello. All right. So let's give this a shot. Ennis is actually leading the team with goals at 30 right now. Hold on. Let's go to the 31st. Okay, come on, guys. You got to start winning some here. Like, we've lost a number in a row, including that one to Montreal. There you go. The one to Montreal, we lost 7-3, and there was a 5-2 loss in there too. So big gaps in scoring, and that's not what we expected at all here. I mean, you had a guy like Eric Stahl. He's a proven leader, and also a proven goal scorer too. And there you go, another loss in was that in overtime or regulation? I can't tell there. I don't remember if we were at 6 or 7 to begin with. Philadelphia up next. They are a strong team from the looks of things. They got about the same number of wins as us, but fewer losses, and we'll take a win on that one. And look at Ryan Johansson. Man, Johansson, 29 goals and 34 assists. Columbus, though, wins. That's not that we need to win multiple games in a row here if we expect to make the playoffs. And I'm going to start going a game at a time, because we are at that point where every single game is absolutely crucial. San Luis producing, and Ennis is producing, actually, so we have won well, for Christ's sake, that wasn't overtime. I'll take it. We aren't up there. We'll stop there just for now, just while I regain some composure. We aren't up there for anything in terms of points. We aren't up there for goals. We aren't up there for assists. We're close, but we're not up there. Points, we're about 5 points off. Ugh, that's nasty. The gap has not closed much. What, we were 6 before, and now it's 5? So, and we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. We have to win almost every single game here in order to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. We have to win almost every single game here if we want to make the playoffs. Plain and simple. Just because you look at that other division, it's pretty much as strong as ours, so it's going to be a competition within the divisions. It's not going to be much of a crossover at this point. Could we squeeze in on the Metropolitan Division? Maybe. I mean, they're at 84 points, so it could happen. But right now, I think that we need to just definitely focus on our current division and just try to win as many of these as we can. If we can win all 5 of these, that'll put us at about, what are we at right now? That'll put us about 90 points. That's a weak year, but at the same time, that might be enough to get us into the playoffs. As long as the Detroit Red Wings, there's one win, good. As long as the Detroit Red Wings continue to lose. So this is, we're going to, right at the end of the season here, we're going to be paying very close attention to the standings and to our wins, because we need each and every single one of these. So let me just go back here. Let's take a look at the standings again. We're at 82. Yeah, look at that. It's still, actually now it's a 9-point difference. So I don't know how that happened. How they played they must have so many more games in hand, and we got 4 games left and a 9-point difference. We're basically down to the 6-point difference on Philadelphia. So, I mean, Philadelphia can only win 1 more game, and we have to win the rest. So this is pretty much all but ruined, because Detroit ended up having so many extra games in hand over that 3-day off period. All right, there's one. Let's take a look. Philadelphia hasn't won yet, but again, each one of these has to be a win. If Philadelphia wins any of them, then we're screwed. There's another win. All right, we won that one. Or sorry, if Philadelphia wins 2, we're screwed, I should say. They've won 1. All right, now we're 4 points off and 2 games left. So they have to lose these, and we have to have more wins than them come the end of this. So this is like crunch time at this point. If it wasn't crunch time before, it certainly is now. So we'll sim the games. We'll in-game sim, because this is what it's going to come down to. So first period, no goals at all. Outshot 8-4. The second, still no goals. And we'll go slowly here. Actually, I'll go times 4. Here we go. Third period, scoreless game completely against Toronto Maple Leafs. Power play. Come on, guys. Oh, my God, and Toronto scored. I feel like in a game that has been this close. Come on, guys. Come on. And that's it. I'm just going to sim. 4-2 the final. Fuck off. Screw you, Toronto, you sons of bitches. God damn it, man. That pisses me off. You make a trade like that and you get nothing? What a joke. And Philadelphia, well, we won't know if Philadelphia won until probably the next day. But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all. We're not making the playoffs. We're only at 86 points. And we needed those 2 wins to get there. So, what a joke. No first round pick to be had. No first round pick. So now we decide at the trade deadline, or at the draft, what we're going to be trading away. What player do we move that will give us, a first round pick? Because I really want to pick up a first round pick, and who is the guy to do that for us? Let's take a look at the OHL. We'll scout Sean Day a little bit more for a month. Who cares? I'm kind of pissed off right now. I thought we'd get there. We just had a shitty end of the season. 86 points. 86 points. And look at Montreal. They even had 92. So there's still a 6-point gap there. And I doubt that we're going to beat Pittsburgh anyway. Pittsburgh's just too strong of a team. There. Oh, we actually beat them 5-4. So we came that close. We came within 2 points because I don't think Philadelphia even won a game there. And let me take a look here. I asked you to win 40, and we got 40. That's what they asked was 40. Okay, we're good. Let's take a look at the standings because I'm very interested in that before I wrap this up here. Team standings. Look at this. Philadelphia ended up losing that one. Guys, if we had won that game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, we would be in the playoffs. Oh, they got bumped too because of Montreal. Never mind. We wouldn't have been in the playoffs anyway. Oh my god. What a joke. But, I mean, you know what? 90-point teams shouldn't be making the playoffs anyway. It shouldn't be. That was a weak year for everybody. I mean, the best team was 116 points, the Minnesota Wild. Actually, the Rangers dropped off, and you got 110, 109. Like, and those are the only 3 teams above 100 points. 3 teams. That is not typical. That is not even close to typical. So, right now, we're going to find ourselves in a terrible situation. No first-round pick. No playoff hopes. Absolute joke. I'm going to cut it off there, guys. If you have any suggestions of players we should move at the draft to pick up a first-round pick, please leave it down below. I'm sorry we weren't able to get there this year, but that's not too bad considering this is only our 2nd season behind the helm of the Buffalo Sabres. Next year will be better. All right, guys, until next time, I'm Target Audience, and I'll catch you guys out on the ice.